because we need to make sure that additive brings more to the table than just designing differently. We really need to make sure that we disrupt the way of manufacturing today and bring a more sustainable solution for our customers.
Whole new challenge though, and this gets to scale in terms of supporting customers in a production environment. It's a whole new ballgame. Their factories are spread around the world often. They have extremely high quality requirements. It has to fit in a factory workflow. And to the specifics, you've got to have scale enough to get cost down to the product. You've also got to be able to afford the sales team and the service team that are required in this industry as it inserts itself into production. Plant managers are some of the hardest customers in the world to satisfy. There's a lot of war stories about being thrown out on your ear when you were going to screw up the factory workflow. It can't happen. The expectation of those customers, which may have the same company name, but have completely different expectations on the factory floor, are very, very high and very different. So that meeting that challenge requires our whole industry to advance. Part of the answer is the scale and economics that come from it in both product cost and services.
So scalability will only come from consolidation. I'm like a one-trick pony. You need to consolidate the manufacturers community to stop trying to show everybody that you have a little bit different solution that will eventually win the whole world. It's not going to. Being profitable and large enough will. That's about scalability. And stop playing the ego trip, guys. You need to be together, not all of us together, some of us and some other of us, and have a co-opetition, which was invented in the days of the early software, PC software industry. Cooperation while competition, that's absolutely okay. That's about structure. Process and material, and automation. The automation is not an issue. The process and material is the main issue, and we are not there yet. And the front-end software, I'll speak about it in a second. All three of them have to lead to one thing, unit economics. And we are not there in unit economics either. The entrance to the manufacturing from prototyping needs the right material, first of all, needs the right automation, which will define both of them, the speed and the investment, and hence the unit economics. Guys, a printer that you buy at home today, do you even know what it does other than spewing out the pages? Do you sure you know if it's HP or Canon? All what you know is you're using Word as a word processor or any other software, and then PDF, and then you send it somewhere and it's printed in England. You don't even know where it's printed. What sells the printer is the software. And HP, which happen to sell printers, know that. And Canon know that. We in this industry don't know yet. And software is not each one of us developing its own very, very unique software front end that can do design, CAD/CAM, design for manufacturing. No, it's us understanding there's certain standards that needs to be shared by all of us. That's competition. Because that's what will cause people to buy more printers. The fact that they can approach Jeff's printer and approach your printer, approach my printer through a similar user interface up to a certain point. This is what will make this industry tick, and without that, we're not getting into manufacturing.
But then we need to focus where we have advantage, consolidating parts, geometries that no one can do, managing supply chain and spare parts, customization. There are 5, 6 areas where no one can win on us. And if we are coming with the real manufacturing requirements, boom, we win. But all this will not work if you don't have the people that understand additive. I was last week, half a week with customers, automotive, aerospace. The number one thing, put aside the manufacturing requirement, TCO, cost, everything, is that they don't have engineers that really know what to do. So I tell them, hey, it's a win. So we know that it's a win. It's a 1-year return on investment payback. But who will do it? So we as an industry need to help on the education. So if you take the manufacturing requirement, focus where we have advantage, and really help to skill up the workforce, we are there.
The customers that I meet with absolutely want to do that. It's mission critical for them to do it. They need to do it. And we're seeing the adoption. You know, and we're fortunate again to have the NXG class product because it is a casting killer. It literally will make parts and take design cycles down to much shorter. In fact, at this event I hosted this past week for my Americas team, we had a couple customers come in. And it was the most enlightening part of the day, you know, to hear your customers come and talk about the technology and what it's doing for them. And they talked about their supply chain and how we've simplified it. We've cut the iteration from one of the customers that's in the consumer products group, you know, talked about a 12 to 18 week lead time versus now 2 to 3 weeks. And I mean, we're doing that today. This is not something we're talking about as a future capability, but that's a reality today. And I think that it's our job as disciples of the industry to go out and bring that technology to the markets because it is possible. It's not a dream for the future. It's a reality today, and customers need to do it.
That I think we all need to be aware of. It's taking more time than we think. We cannot invest so much money all the time that in the end we need. Afterwards, we need to get our inventory in order, and we need to have smart partnerships with companies that might bring something to the table that we cannot do alone or will cost way more ourselves to do it alone. This is complicated, this is not easy, but I think we all are focusing on finding the right solutions for each and every company. And I'm sure then slowly, we will grow, but it will be not the massive growth that we all felt suddenly in 2 years. It will be a silent change, as I think always in transformation.
Would our panelists agree with that we need sort of a more realistic, more patient perspective?
My husband told me, Marie, you're in the US, you need to be bold. He's working for Microsoft. But I also feel like we had a lot of boldness the last year, so maybe we also buckle it down a bit.
It takes 15, 20 years to develop technology, and I am in touch with a lot of the players. There, specifically one, which said initially we had to send a technician with each machine. Yeah. What you said is extremely important. If you need to have a guy sitting there so the customer knows that if machine is down, it will be fixed, have a guy there and put it on the cost of the machine. Mm-hmm. Your cost, and we need to get the margin on that as well, which goes back to my first statement. We need to make the customers happy, and they are not having a problem with issues and innovation and faults here and there. On the contrary, they get excited when they are part of the solution, because you are there showing them that's critical, and it's critical to be profitable in spite of doing that.
They don't care if they have issues. They just want to know that we will solve it. So we need to meet the manufacturing requirements. We need to make sure that we are not just meeting them. We are hand-to-hand going to those applications where we can make a difference. Like, for example, our dentures. I met a dental lab in New York a few days ago. They are excited about the ability to change people's life. We underestimate the treasure we are sitting on. So in that sense, we didn't overpitch the vision, we overpitched the timeline. Okay? We overpitched the timeline. It's amazing what we can do. Meet the manufacturing requirement, go use case by use case, and base your trust on the people, on the engineers, or on our teams that they have the passion. By the way, I have an experience with many different industries. The amount of passion that I see, especially with the young one, in our industry is, oh my God, we are good. We will be in manufacturing. It will take time, but we'll be in manufacturing. And yes, we need to consolidate. We need to have smart partnerships. By the way, there is no contradiction. We need to have smart partnerships, We need to work together. We need to open up, like Stratasys open up our material platform, and we have SDKs and APIs for our software platform. You want to join Stratasys platform? Welcome. Together, we'll do it. I have no doubt.